So this problem says a hiker is walking towards a rock wall that rises 292 meters above the trail. So let's say that this horizontal length of the triangle is the trail. So the rock wall would be this side over here. The height of this would be 292 meters. Let theta be the angle of elevation from the hiker to the top of the rock wall. So the angle of elevation would be this angle here from, if we're assuming this point right here would be the hiker, and so the angle of elevation from the hiker to the top of the rock wall would be this theta here. And let x be the distance from the hiker to the rock wall. So from the hiker to the rock wall is x right there. The question asks, find an equation for theta in terms of x. So let's look at the relationship between theta and the two sides that we have. The theta, the one that's opposite, or the one that doesn't touch, would be the opposite side. So we have opposite over here. The one that does touch but is not opposite from the right angle is the adjacent side. So this is adjacent. So the relationship would be using opposite and adjacent, which is tan, because tan of an angle is equal to the opposite over adjacent. So we can plug in the numbers that we know, that tan of theta, the angle is already theta, is equal to the opposite side, which is 292. We'll keep in mind that that has a unit of meters, but we can leave that off from the equation, divided by the adjacent side, which would be x. So this would be our equation, but the question is asking for it to be solved for theta. So the way we can solve this equation for theta is by moving tan to the other side. Tan is a function, so we can move it to the other side by taking the tan inverse of both sides. So if we take the tan inverse of the tan theta, taking the tan inverse of both sides, so we'll put the tan inverse on both sides. The tan inverse and the tan would cancel out, leaving us with theta is equal to tan inverse of 292 over x. So that would be our equation for theta in terms of x, which would be the first part of the question. From here, the next part says to find the rate of change of theta with respect to x when the hiker is x is equal to 121 meters from the rock wall. Well, rate of change of theta with respect to x, what we're looking for the derivative. The rate of change of theta with respect to x would be d theta dx. That's what we're looking for. So in order to find d theta dx, we need to take the derivative of this equation. So giving myself a little bit of room. Our theta, our tan theta, we need an equation. We need a formula to be able to take that derivative. The derivative of tan inverse of x is equal to 1 over 1 plus x squared. So we can use this equation. We have more than just an x inside, so we'll also need to use the chain rule. But this will be our base equation that we're going to use. So to take the derivative, we have d theta dx on the left, because our function is in terms of x. And we're taking the derivative of the outside function, leaving the inside the same first. So this would be 1 over 1 plus, plugging in 292 over x in for the x, and then squaring it. That would be the derivative of the outside. Let's multiply by the derivative of the inside. We can move the x up to the top by writing it as 292x to the negative 1. Then we can take the derivative of that by using the power rule. So negative 292 x to the power of -1 minus 1 is -2. So this would be our derivative. We can simplify it a little bit, but the question is only asking us to find our answer rounded to 5 decimal places. So we could just use our calculator to simplify, plugging in 121. So plugging in 121 meters into our x value, that gives us 1 over 1 plus 292 over 121. Whoops. That parentheses goes all the way over that, squared, times -292 times 121 to the power of -2. So I just simplified by plugging in 121 in for all my values of x. So let's do a little simplifying with a calculator. Give me just a second to get my calculator out. So let's start by working from the inside parentheses out. So we'll leave 1 over 1 plus 292 divided by 121 is a decimal 2.41. And then if we square that, we get 5.823646, etc. Times, here we have 292, and we're multiplying it by 121 to the power of -2, which is negative 0.019944. So then continuing to simplify, we get 1 divided by 1 plus our original decimal, 1 plus the 5.82 number, which when I do that part, I get 0.146549, and then multiplying it by this number again, the negative 0.01 ... I get negative 0.002923. And the question asks us to round our answer to 5 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to round to the 2. So that makes negative 0.00292. And that would be the numerical answer, which means that our angle would be decreasing, getting smaller. Does that make sense? It seems like it should be getting larger. Interesting. I'll have to look at that. But the answer would also have a unit of, because it's d theta dx, that would be a unit of radians per meter, because the top is a change in the angle, which is a unit of radians, and the bottom is dx, which is the x is in a unit of meters. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you have any other questions, any other homework questions you'd like to see a video of, feel free to leave those in the comments as well. Thanks for watching.